how are you all? Are you safe in
Yeah, we're safe. We live like 10 minutes from Hollywood, so when like the smaller fire was in Hollywood, we were more so affected, but we haven't had to evacuate at all,
Thankfully.
thankfully. It's just
what
been
is
a
it
lot.
like there right now?
I mean, I think that this past week, I mean, we just got back, but it seems a bit calmer energy wise. We had a few friends and even like coworkers and people that actually lost their homes in the fire. And for them, I feel like there's been just a lot of chaos of finding different places to stay and figuring out where to kind of go from here and if they
Oh,
even want to stay here in LA. So I feel like the morale is
Yeah,
kind
it's like
of
the energy.
up and down. A lot of volunteering things and
hmm.
community coming together, which is a high, but it's still.
Yeah, it has been cool to see that from afar. I was in Australia and Dubai when all this was happening. It felt so weird to be so disconnected from
Yeah,
but I mean, it was huge news everywhere. I could not believe what was happening. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
unprecedented. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I've-
never like been in a city with such a natural disaster
mm,
happening while I'm there, and it
no
felt like
shit.
impossible for something like that to happen. I don't know.
yeah,
You don't think it
Totally.
actually.
yeah.
How is the air quality?
It's still kind of bad. They're saying to still wear masks, so I've been wearing a mask. There's a lot of people who aren't wearing masks and just going about their days,
Yeah,
but
I feel like it's kind of
I,
split of people feeling like it's a fear tactic. So
mhm.
people are like, "Oh, we're not doing this," and then other people are just being precautious. But oh, when you look outside, it looks a lot better. So I think also with that, people think it's fine, but I
I don't
feel like
think
it's
so.
just better to protect ourselves
Even
rather
when we
than.
were flying in, I was like, you can kind of see that the air is
Yeah.
not, it's
And the
not clear.
chemicals in the air is just not worth it.
Totally. I flew in from Tokyo through LA, and I did like a quick layover before I came to Austin. And flying into it, there's like one fire that you could see, and
Oh,
just like
really?
the oh my God, the devastation and the fuck, it was so surreal.
Yeah, it's like it's sad that they're still burning, and even like there was another fire that just started on this beautiful lake. It's like one of my favorite spots, and it just makes me so sad.
I'm just like,
Especially
it's
just
just
losing all these forests.
I know, and I'm just so curious to see what yeah, just like what happens and are things gonna be rebuilt and
Yeah,
like
it's
the
Yeah.
like
fact
kind
that
of
so many
worried.
people didn't have insurance because I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is gonna happen?
yeah,
I'm
it
like,
just literally it doesn't make sense. It's
it
like yeah, it makes
truly
my
does
heart
not make
ache.
sense.
Yeah, it's
There's a
definitely
lot of questions going on with like politics right now and like what actually can help these people move forward because if they're not going to get the money for their houses, like what do you expect to happen?
Literally, what do you do?
yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't. And I was my friend was telling me that sorry, my friend was telling me that um her friend lost their home and they're trying to find a place to live and we're like looking to rent a place and people have skyrocketed the rents and like I'm just like this is
It's just like
insane.
Like
it's
the
like so
greed and
exactly. It's like these people are hurting and you're greedy trying to make a dollar off of them. That's actually so inhumane.
yeah.
And like I genuinely want to do believe people are good, like innately good, but it is when you see things like that, you're just like how can you live with yourself? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I feel like this whole situation and everything going on within our politics right now have definitely
I
screwed
know,
with
I'm like what
like
a fucking welcome 2025.
I'm
So
like I
crazy.
trust in humanity, but I'm like
I know there's good people. Like I feel like I sit here and I try to work out of my best place in my heart and I know that there's other people doing the same and hopefully this just brings us all together to have a bigger voice and support each other. But it is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you're safe. Um, and I fucking love Chicago.
yes, I love going back.
It is my favorite. My parents
Yes.
are from Chicago. My brother
Oh,
lives there. My
really?
brother always, I was born and raised in Eugene, Oregon. And my brother always used to say, like, I feel like a Chicagoan born in a Eugenian's body. And like the second kid got out, and he's, raising his kids like in the city and so proud of
Oh,
that. But I just like every time I go there or play there, the energy, because it's like it's such a vibrant city and the people are, I just like, Midwestern people are just, I think they're fucking awesome. They're just like down to earth. They love it. There's weird like social ladder climbing. Like it is just like, and the city offers so much to the people who live there. Like I was there for the end of summer and like the free fireworks that would happen like every night or what and the
Like
just the
maybe here.
yes. I'm like
Yeah,
there's
I feel
so
like
much
the
stuff like that.
summers. It's so fun. There's always like free music in the park and different things like that. We went back this summer for a show, and I literally used the same word vibrancy. That was like, there's a vibrancy here that I'm not seeing in other places. It's not that it's like lacking, but it's just heightened. It
It
feels like,
totally is. I mean, and like
especially
and the
on the
music
west
scene and the
side.
beauty of the city and the people. It's like in New York, it's like the purpose of life is not to be happy. It's like to be on this grind. And like in LA, I know there's like a beauty of, a lot of creatives coming there and like it, but it's still just like a different energy. And in
Yeah.
Chicago, there's just like culture for the sake of culture and people just want to exist and like I don't know, without trying to get somewhere. And I just fucking
Yeah.
love that.
No, I definitely
Yeah.
love to spend time there. I'm like so grateful to be from there.
I
It
was
was
just,
just
I
I feel like I have to go back a few times a year just to ground myself, you know?
dude, fuck yeah. So what brought you to LA?
We moved out here originally for college, and I mean, it was a place that we always kind of thought about going, and we told ourselves we each make a separate decision, and if it works out that we're in the same place, cool. Which maybe just in the back of my head, I'm like, please choose the same place.
yeah.
But we end up both choosing to come out for California, and we actually both did like fashion business as our first main creative.
Amazing. Wait,
Yeah.
so have you always lived in the same city then? Have you ever had a period of being
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we've lived separate and together here, but always in the same cities.
This is
Which,
gonna be like the dumbest question, but I just need to confirm. You're twins, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm like,
we
just
are.
let me just let me just
Not
let me
dumb.
just quadruple check. Yes, okay.
No. I feel like everyone asks. Like, you never know. Some people look really alike. Some siblings are
Yes, I mean
like,
you're obviously twins, but I just wanted to, yeah, that's so cool. What is the coolest thing about having a twin? And what is the hardest thing, at least for you two, speaking on behalf of yourselves?
I mean, I think on top of it just feeling like a sister relationship, you've literally been since day one, like knowing me.
yeah.
So I feel like having someone that's gone through different, like even school experiences and things like that, I think in the sense of relatability outside of myself, I can't really lie to you about anything. So it's like I can't lie to myself, right? But I guess on the negative side, it's just other people not knowing us apart all the time. It could be nice to slide under the rug of like, oh, you don't even know who I am. But it gets kind of
Yeah, it's
frustrating sometimes,
annoying.
especially people that think know me. And I'm like, you don't know us apart. We're
Yeah.
separate people. So I
I
guess
always
that
think
sense.
that's so interesting. We have certain friends that I thought knew us apart, and then I find out like 2 years later that they don't even know us apart. I'm like, oh, I thought we were a little bit closer to that. That's actually crazy. I was gonna say like as the con is the sense of individuality, which I think goes like well in, not within myself, but just the way other people view us.
What's your pro? You just have cons?
No, no, no. My pro. I was like, I feel like
Just my con.
no, I really like feel like I've had a best friend my whole life, and like to have someone that you truly like are ever alone. I think that's like a blessing, you know. That's
God, that
something
is the
that's so cool.
coolest thing ever. I'm very close with my brother, but I
That's
mean, we
good.
have very different lives, and I can't. It would be so cool to just always have that person with you. That
Yeah,
would just be so cool.
yeah.
Well,
Beautiful.
okay, I'm gonna read a little intro blurb,
Okay.
and then ask you a few questions, and it hopefully should be painless. And this is obviously not live, so feel free to tweak
It'll
or
be fun.
No, yeah, I was like, it'd be fun, and then you can get some rest. You've had a long day.
go crazy. Um, wait, I wanted to hear. Sorry, real quick. Knees ain't your newest track. Knees ain't weak. Why is this not working? I wanted to hear that. I haven't listened to that yet. Damn it.
Lily just came out on Friday.
Yeah, it just came out, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sick. Where did you release it?
Like North Fever.
Aluna's label.
Sorry, where?
Honora Favor, Aluna's label.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm super happy
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
this is.
Little dirty vibe.
Okay, fire. Sick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, just like a quick music
Gotta
break.
stay safe.
Very cool. Okay, you are listening to Femme House Radio with your host LP Giobbi, and this week we have RaeCola, the dynamic duo of twin sisters Rae and Nicole, who have been deeply immersed in music since birth. Growing up in the south side of Chicago, they draw from the rich history of house music, adding their own modern twist to the genre. Influenced by pioneers like DJ Sluggo, Ghetto Blaster, and DJ Godfather, RaeCola's sound is a fusion of ghetto tech house and booty bass, characterized by dirty, emphatic beats that resonate with their Chicago roots. Their electrifying performances have graced some of the most prominent festivals and venues, including Ultra Miami, Electric Forest, Brooklyn Mirage, Lightning in a Bottle, Beyond Wonderland, and Dirty Bird Campin', among others. Welcome to Femme House Radio. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, LP. It's such an honor to be here. We didn't mention this before, but we actually took one of your workshops. I don't even know how long ago that was.
Oh yeah,
It
I think
was
it was like
four,
yeah, like
four
3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, I
Shut
we
up.
were like learning production a lot, and it
Yeah.
was such a monumental little point of us growing.
Yeah.
So it's such a full circle moment.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I was like, yeah.
This is the coolest full circle moment for me. This is literally, I'm a fan of yours, and this is so cool to hear that, we started this like 5-6 years ago, and to now be meeting artists who I love, who, were involved. I
Wait,
cannot
like,
tell you how much that tickles me.
Oh,
No.
yeah. And I was at like Allo Music Academy.
Yeah.
It was really good. And it was really cool to get together with other females and learn in a space like that. It was so helpful. So
That's
thank you for what you do.
awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God, thank you for sharing that. That just made my jet lag who? Tell us your origin story. How did you get into DJing and producing?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like as kids, we always liked music and tried different instruments. We tried piano, clarinet, guitar, and like nothing
Yeah.
ever really stuck truly. It was like there was interest there, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't sticking in the way we wanted it to. And we moved to Los Angeles for college and started going out to different clubs and different things and seeing different parties and became friends with a DJ and really wanted to learn and bugged him for a year to teach us how to DJ. And now that I'm a DJ, I understand. I'm like, people always ask and you're like, okay, do you really want to learn? But we were like bugging him for so long that he invited us to this open deck session. It's like all these dudes, they all know how to DJ. And
they
we
just
have
threw
no
us
idea.
in.
They just threw us in. They're like, well, just like hop in. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So that was like my first introduction together.
Yeah.
Our first
I
introduction
remember getting
together.
home and we both were asking, when are you guys going to do this again? I loved it so much, even though it was kind of challenging, uncomfortable. I still wanted to do it more. And they said next month. And we're like, next month? I want to do this next week or so. And we put together our money and brought a little controller and just started kind of bedroom DJing for fun. And it was
I love
always
that.
just a hobby. Our friends would come over and we would play some music. And eventually some of our friends would ask us to DJ for their events and different things like that. So we just kind of started doing it at little parties.
Yeah, it's great. That was
some
like
fashion
9
events.
years ago.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's kind of, it's like, it's crazy I've been doing this that long. It was like 9 years ago and we were both working corporate at the time. And within like 8 or 9 months or so, we both had this conversation that we weren't liking our jobs. We were starting to play more shows that were paid and we're like, I think we could do this full time. And we just dove
How
in.
was it scary to make that leap? Like what advice would you give to others who are thinking about that?
I think at the time I had to look at what there was that I would be giving up versus what I could possibly accomplish with taking that leap, because I could stay in my comfortable position of staying at my corporate job and sometimes playing and not really sleeping much because I would have a night gig till 2 in the morning and wake up at 6 a.m. for work, which was great. But I think even though it was really comfortable, there was like this whole nother world in view that you could see the possibility of what possibly could be. And when I look at it today, I just can't imagine all the different shows and people we've gotten to connect with and things like that. I would not even have those experiences if I stayed in my little comfort bubble. You
Even
know?
just like me as a person, I feel like I've grown so much through doing this. I'm such an introvert. Like when I talk to family, they're like, I never would have known you could be on stage like that. And I think I've grown so much through doing this field completely. I was not like this in my corporate job. I was like the quiet girl who's like on her computer and they're like, you DJ? What? So I think I've been able to like,
No, I mean, like in the small interaction we've had, I I totally see you owning a stage completely. But
I definitely have grown so much through this. I was not like this like 9 years ago. So also I started seeing myself growing through doing music, and in the same way like was so tired. It didn't even feel too much like a question. It was like I feel so drawn to this. This is something we have to do.
that is so awesome. And what is it like to work with a sibling?
There's so many perks, and then there's so many challenges. I feel like siblings in general, you just have, your little bickering in
Yeah,
moments.
we're
But
still siblings at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I think even with little things like DJing and I'm trying to do something and she's trying to do it her way and I'm like, bro, get over there.
When we first with DJ, there was definitely these little moments that were like, all right, we can't bicker while we're up here. We need to have peace. But I think through, especially learning to tour together and like making music together and creating together, we've learned so much about each other that I would not have known before. And I think it's also like helped our relationship. We don't fight anymore,
No.
ever, which is like kind of crazy.
What?
We've grown, I think I've grown a lot of patience.
Patience
I
and
think
understanding.
the first year we went on a tour together, it was rocky for sure. And I think I had to grow a sense of patience that helps me even with other relationships that I do have of just like understanding for the most part you're not trying to like hurt me or do something crazy. So I just have to have that sense of grounding to come into it. And I think even with working with other people I have to remind myself like, okay, their intention's probably good. Let me just try to have a better understanding. So I think it definitely taught me that.
Heck yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so happy you have each other. Tell us what we have to look forward to from you in 2025.
Music, mainly.
Yes, new music.
Yeah?
I think 2024 was definitely a year that we kind of sat back and learned a bit more, which was different. Not different, we always try to learn, but I think we've been just continue to like learn and put out music and try to do shows and just try to connect our music with more people. And I think last year was the first year that we kind of just sat back and said, let's just grow with the people around us. Let's learn. Let's do more classes.
Like what
Let's-
happens happens, but less like planning and trying
Cool.
to initiate, which I think was really
helpful
good.
and good. We have a lot of collab tracks, which is newer for us. Before we were working more so on our solo project, but learning to work with other artists more so in the studio has been really fun and exciting. And yeah, you can expect some fun collabs to
some
come out
fun,
this year,
fun collabs.
and some fun shows.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. And congrats on your newest release, Knees Ain't Weak, which is
Thank
awesome.
you. I'm so
Very,
happy
very,
about
very
it.
cool. Yeah,
It's-
congrats. Well, we're huge fans of what you're doing over at Femme House Radio and Femme House, the team. And thank you so much for putting your art and your energy out in the world.
That means the world.
That literally means so much. So thank you.